Boo! It's Halloween. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lizzie and it is Halloween weekend. I've got a little bit of a Halloween game for us today. I don't read that many spooky books. I didn't want to do a kind of spooky book recommendations video because I just don't read that sort of thing. But I've got a trick or treat book reviews game for us. So here is my pumpkin mug with all sorts of book titles written on sheets of paper inside, and I've got a dice here, and so I'm going to pull out a book title and roll the dice. If the number I roll is odd, then it is a trick and I can only say bad things about the book, and if I roll an even number, it is a treat and I can only say good things about the book. Now I've put a bit of a mix of things in here so who knows what will happen. So without any further ado, let's get to our first book. Okay, here we go, pulling one out. And it is... Ooh, The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. Is that going to focus? Nope, you can just trust me that that's what it says. And let's see if I'm saying good or bad things about this book. My flat surface is the Wicked songbook. It felt very seasonal. Okay. It's a 4, so I can say good things about The Rest of Us Just Live Here, which is good because I enjoyed this book. This book is a YA contemporary in a town where all the YA tropes come to life. So they go through periods of vampires, they go through periods of alien invasions. There is the throwaway line in kind of reference to Fault of Our Stars. I love that setting. The characters are all background characters in the main story. So in the background you have the heroes fighting the aliens. The actual story is about teenagers trying to live their lives, very much in the vein of things like Buffy, where they just want to survive prom night and have a good time. So it was a really fun way of subverting those tropes. I had a great time reading it. I also went to Q&A with Patrick Ness about this, which I feel like definitely bolstered my appreciation for this book. Okay, next book, here we go. It is The Begot by Julie Hearn. Is it going to focus? Nope. And I actually talked about this in a video a couple of weeks ago where I recommended autumnal historical fiction. So we will see what this comes out as. Are we ready? It's a 4 again. It's another even number. So good things about The Begot, which is good again. I did enjoy this book. So I really liked the way that it centred the stories of women in history at a time when they were being oppressed and attacked for basically having a skill, because it's set during the witch trials. I thought that was really good. I thought it was a really nice accessible way to access that kind of history for the age group that it was aimed at. It was written in a kind of fun and light-hearted way, but had those deeper and darker themes to it as well, so it was a really good balance there. Yeah, The Begot, nice things. Okay, let's see what's going to be next. It is Sister Song by Lucy Holland. I loved this book, so I really hope I get an even number because I really enjoyed this book. Okay. Oh no. It's a 5. It's a 5, which is an odd number. So I can only say bad things about Sister Song, which is it's quite a recent release. I think it came out this year. It's a fantasy based on an old English ballad. And bad things. The only thing that I didn't like about it, or just didn't quite work for me, I would say, is that the original ballad that it's based on, the kind of story that it's based on, is very dark and gruesome and gory. And I don't think that was set up well enough. So when it got to the gruesome, gory part of the ballad, it felt very kind of out of left field and a bit sort of like, oh no, where did this come from? This whole new set of things that we didn't know could happen. That's the only bad thing I can think of to say for that book. Yeah. On to the next one. Okay, in we go. It is, let's see, Woman on the Edge of Time by Marge Piercy. This is a classic, what does the tagline on the cover say? The classic feminist science fiction novel. All good words that we like. Right, let's roll the dice. Can you see? There you go, you can see the book. Oh, it's a 6. It's an even number, so I can say good things about this book, and only good things, which is good because I enjoyed it. I thought this book was really good at imagining a utopia where everyone is equal, and did a really good job of addressing the things that would need to be addressed in order for that to happen. It was really ambiguous, the ending, which I really liked. Sometimes I don't like an ambiguous ending, but I liked this one. I thought it worked really, really well. The characters were really engaging. It just introduced so many different themes and ideas, especially for a book written in the 70s, that just, brought so much to light, and is also, I think, interesting to read as one that came out a long time ago, that you can see what has changed, how much has progressed since then. Okay, next one. Here we go. It is Exciting Times by Nisha Dolan. I'm getting all the books that I really enjoyed, which is good, but I hope I didn't roll an odd number. Right. I promise I did plant some ones I didn't enjoy in there. Here we go. It's a 1. It's a 1. Okay. Exciting Times. Bad things. I mean, Julian was kind of the worst. The story is a love triangle. The main character is an Irish expat living in Hong Kong, and the guy she's with at the start of the book is just basically like a sociopathic. I don't know if he did go to Eton, but he has his vibes, you know. And he is the worst. He's terrible. He was definitely a downer on the whole book. Also, for a book set in Hong Kong, a lot of the characters were white. A lot. And I think, nope, I was about to say a good thing, but I'm only allowed to say bad things. But that's all I can say. I think it could have been addressed a little more. It sort of was touched upon, and you knew that the character was aware of it and not really properly addressing it in herself, and kind of wrestling her own position with it. She was just ignoring it, and I think it would have been nice to have a bit more addressing the fact that she is moving in the circles of these upper class people, some of whom are people who are native to Hong Kong, as in some white people who have grown up in Hong Kong, some ethnically Chinese people who've grown up in Hong Kong, some people not from Hong Kong. Yeah, that would be my big criticism of that one, I think. Also, Julian's the worst. Okay, let's see what's next. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. No matter what I roll, it's going to be a riot. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Rolling. It's a 1. Nothing happened in the first half of the book. Nothing happens. It was so boring. And then so much happens in the second half of the book. Talk about pacing issues. And I know. Don't get mad at me, because that's the point of this game. But it was 2 separate books that had been stuck together with one bombshell in the middle. Also, Mr. Rochester, what are you doing? What are you doing, mate? Don't kidnap your own wife. It's not a good look. Right, what's next? Let's see, we have The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. This is also going to be fun, no matter what I roll. Right, let's see. Are you ready? It's a 4. So I'm only saying good things about The Testaments, which is a sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. So I did like a lot of things in this book. There were lots of things I did like. I liked that our expectation and understanding of Aunt Lydia was subverted a lot. I also didn't like that, but I'm talking about things that I did like, so I both liked and disliked that. I liked that it could have just doubled down on the first one, and she didn't. You know, I like that it kind of showed that resistance and the way that things are changing and improving, and that it had a bit of that kind of rally to causeness about it, which it felt a bit more like a kind of adventurous story, which isn't something I disliked about The Handmaid's Tale, not at all, but is something that I did like in this. So yes, nice things about The Testaments. Yeah, I did listen to an abridged version of The Testaments when I listened to it, so I would be interested to read the whole thing one day and see what I think of the whole thing. This is a fun game, I'm enjoying it. We should do this every year. Okay, next up is, let's see, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. We are getting a lot of classics as well, aren't we? Okay, are you ready? Oh, book won't lay flat. It's a 5, so I can only say bad things about 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. My main complaint, and this is not with the book, the story as Jules Verne wrote it, it's with my own copy, and that is that I think it's the original English translation. It doesn't tell you what the translation is or who translated it, which is a huge oversight, but also means I can't look up how good of a translation it is. So I'm going to have to reread it in a different translation to see if it was any good. And that translation has cut out a lot of the, I want to say undertones, but really it's just like straight up tones of the British Empire are terrible, which were cut or, you know, dampened when it was translated to English for the first time, because somehow they didn't think that would sell over here. Who knows why? So yeah, most of my complaints are with the translation, which I know has kind of watered down the anti-imperial themes in the story. I think, yeah, the fact that it doesn't say in my book who the translator is makes me think it must be the original translation, because surely it's the only one that's out of copyright, or one of the few that would be out of copyright. So yeah, that is my biggest complaint with 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Also, I'm pretty sure that Captain Nemo's backstory is fully retconned for the sequel. The Mysterious Island. I think it's Mysterious Island. Let's do a couple more. Let's see, we've got... Oh, what's it going to be? Oh, it's another classic. It's a doozy. What Katie Did by Susan Coolidge. Oh, I forgot that these don't focus. What? If I hold it closer? Nope. Nope. It says What Katie Did by Susan Coolidge. And again, no matter what I roll, I have a lot to say. Let's see. It's a 2, so I'm saying nice things about this book. So I will save my ableism rant for another day. This is a classic children's story by an American author from the mid to late 19th century. I loved this book as a kid, and I reread it recently, and I can see why I loved it as a kid, because Katie's the oldest of a big family, and I can see a lot of myself at her age in her, having read it when I was first her age. You know, I can see why I read it and was like, this is someone I can relate to, someone who's headstrong and passionate, but also just like very independent, almost to a fault, which I feel like I still am today. That's not something I've outgrown, I don't think. So I really enjoyed that, the kind of that depiction of the family and things. Katie gets injured partway through the book and is bedbound for a few years, and although there are many parts of that plotline which are very dated, and some which aren't but should be, with lots of attitudes that people still have today that they really, really shouldn't. Then I did think it was also, having reread it recently, it was also nice to see two disabled characters talking about how, and supporting each other in how they can make their lives more accessible and for them, and create a better environment for them when their friends and family weren't necessarily thinking about that they were sort of being encouraged, they were encouraging each other to advocate for their own needs, I guess. That was a complicated one, lots going on here. Right, let's make this the last one. What's it going to be? It is Have We Met by Camille Baker. Let's see. This is a contemporary book that I listened to the audiobook of this summer, and it's a 3, so I'm only saying bad things. So this is a contemporary novel about a girl called Corinne. Oh, just dropped the dice. About a girl called Corinne who she's just lost her best friend. She's moved to Chicago, and one day a mysterious app is installed on her phone that promises that she will meet her soulmate. The app says that it's going to introduce 4 people from her past, and one of them is going to be her soulmate. So the things I did not like about this book: the whole mythology kind of thing around the app itself just didn't work for me. It was, at the very start, it was just kind of there, and I was okay with that because that was the premise of the book, was that this app had just appeared. But then as the book went on, then it had a bit more backstory and a bit more kind of explanation as to why it was there, which felt really unnecessary and kind of undermined that premise almost. I sort of feel like it would have been better just to leave it as is. The delve into the app didn't really work for me as to how it came about. And then also, of course, we had some third act drama because it's a contemporary romance. We had third act drama, and the third act drama was just so rubbish. It was like, seriously, just communicate. Please just communicate. I did give it 3 stars though, so you know, it wasn't terrible. There were just the 2 plot points that I did not like. I just realised I'm wearing Christmas socks, which really undercuts the Halloween thing. Thank you for joining me on this Halloween trick-or-treat book review game. I had lots of fun. I think this was a good game. I enjoyed it. So I'm probably going to play this every year. So come back next October. Hopefully come back before then. But come back next October for some more. All of the books that I have mentioned in this video are in the description, as well as if I have written a review for them, I've put my review in there as well. If you want a more balanced perspective, all of my social medias are down there as well. Let me know what books you are reading this Halloween, and I will see you next time. Bye!